The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
At that time, Jesus took with him Peter and John and James and went up on the mountain to pray. And as he was praying, the appearance of his countenance was altered, and his clothing became dazzling white. And behold, two men talked with him, Moses and Elijah, who appeared in glory and spoke of his exodus, which he was to accomplish at Jerusalem. Now Peter and those who were with him were heavy with sleep, kept awake, and they saw his glory and the two men who stood with him. And as the men were parting from him, Peter said to Jesus, "Master, it is well that we are here. Let us make 3 boats, one for you, and one for Moses, and one for Elijah." Not knowing what he said, as he said this, a cloud came and overshadowed them, and they were afraid as they entered the cloud. And a voice came out of the cloud saying, "This is my son, my chosen, listen to him." And when the voice had spoken, Jesus was found alone. And they kept silence and told no one in those days anything of what they had seen. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
My dear brothers and sisters in the Lord, today we celebrate the second Sunday of Lent, year C. The theme of my reflection is, I must move to my land of promise. I must move to my land of promise. Movement can be physical, it can be spiritual, it can be mental. What is important is there's movement from one place to another, or from one state to another state, from one mentality to another mentality. Let me share 3 stories with you. The first story is about a woman who married for many years, but never had a child. Many years after their marriage, this woman started reflecting about what could be the cause why she had no child. Because after diagnosis, she was not barren. She was capable to hold a child in her womb. And her husband was not impotent. He was capable to impregnate a woman. What could be the cause of their childlessness? And in the course of her reflection, she began to find answer in her past life. And shortly after I was ordained, she approached me because we grew up together. We went to the same primary school, and we lived around the same vicinity. And so she had the confidence and the courage to meet me now that I have become a priest. And she approached me, "Father, I'm afraid of what is happening to me. And I want to begin to see that I may have a hand in what is happening to me. And this is what I've never shared with anybody. But I feel comfortable to share with you. And she told me that she committed abortion 3 times before their marriage. She led a wayward life before she married. She remembered committing abortion 3 times without making any sacramental confession or any confession whatsoever. But she began to wonder, could this be the cause of her childlessness? Of course, I didn't have answer to that question. Then I also started thinking like the way she was thinking. Then I introduced her to a senior priest that I knew at that time. I was barely 2 or 3 months in priesthood, so I couldn't pretend that I have an answer to such a serious problem. I could not pin it to a spiritual issue. I could not pin it to anything because I didn't know. And in my usual life, I don't give an answer to questions that I don't know. I have always said that I'm not God and I don't look like God at all. And so I introduced her to one priest we call spiritual guru. And after listening to her, the priest asked her to do 9 days novena for that particular intention. In the course of these 9 days, let her have only one intention, asking God to forgive her for what she did, the sin of abortion, 3 times. And he asked her to fast in the course of these 9 days to the best of her ability. Not to fast to kill herself, but just to do some fasting for the sake of her sin. He asked her to pray these 9 days, and she did. While she was going through this, he was also praying for her. I came to know this later. I just surrendered her to Father, and they continued their spiritual exercise. After the 9 days, the priest gave her a second assignment and told her, go to the nearest quiet place, possibly a bush, where nobody can hear you, and think of 3 gender, or 2 gender, or 1 gender, of course, male or female, that you wish that these children could be. If you feel that there should be 3 girls, let them be 3 girls. If it's 1 boy, 2 girls, let them be. Give them name and call these 3 names. If the first you feel is a boy, you can give him Daniel in your mind. If the second is a girl, you can give Cecilia. If the third is a boy, you can give Michael. Go and call these 3 names and say, I am sorry, Daniel. I am sorry, Cecilia. I am sorry, Michael, wherever you may be. Forgive me. And she did. And when she came back, he told her, go to a motherless baby's home. Motherless babies' home are homes where children that are abandoned are taken care of by strangers. Go and give them some money or some resources to take care of those children abandoned by their legitimate mother or by their legitimate parents. And since herself and her husband have a bit of money, it was easy for her to do it, because this was an exercise for her alone. The husband never knew what was happening. She went and bought some things and took to the motherless baby's home and surrendered. And Father says, that is all I can do for you. Leave the rest to God. My dear brothers and sisters, this is somebody I know. This is somebody I grew up with. About 2 months after that encounter with these priests, this woman became pregnant. And now, as I speak to you, she has 4 children. I must move to my place of promise. And the movement is both mental and spiritual in the case of this lady. Mental, she reflected over the life she was living and said, no, I cannot continue to keep this as a secret. I have the privilege to go to the sacrament of confession as a Catholic to receive absolution from a priest. But I'm still hiding because of shame. I'm still hiding because I am afraid of what the priest will think about me. I'm still hiding because I think the sin is too much. Now, spiritual, she was ready to say sorry, both to God and to these 3 fetus she killed that will never see the face of this earth again. That spiritual and mental movement brought about what God, the blessing that God has destined for her. This was a marriage that was more than 10 years. No child. After that movement, she has found herself in the land of promise. The second story. A young man was in the seminary, wanted to become a priest. And he was supposed to spend 10 years in the priesthood, in the seminary, before his diaconate ordination. After 7 years, he realized that this may not be his place. He realized that he is not called to be a Catholic priest. It was a 7 years of pain and endurance, a 7 years of survival. Not only pain to himself, pain to people around. Pretending before the formators, before the priest, but his fellow seminarians were suffering the suffering he is going through. Always quarreling, always want to see the downfall of others, always antagonizing, always looking unhappy, disturbing those around. 7 years after his stay in the seminary, he was asked to go. And people were wondering, what happened? We don't know what really happened. Then he himself told those who were close to him. He opened up to those who were close to him. I began this journey of leaving the seminary 1 year ago, when I was 6 years a seminarian. I went to my priest and I told him, I don't think I can manage. And I told him my story, what I'm going through. I have never been happy for 1 day in this seminary. I am unhappy. My brothers are happy. I don't know why I am not happy. Something is funny, it's not funny to me. People are looking forward to their ordination. I am afraid of facing my ordination. And so, Father, I think this is not my place. They said, no, don't be in a hurry. Take time and still reflect. They gave him 3 months, nothing had changed. They gave him 6 months, nothing changed. After 1 year, he was told, I think you are correct. This may not be your place of promise. This, the priesthood, may not be your land of promise. You are not a bad person, but this may not give you fulfillment in life. Priesthood may bring you more pain and agony. You will destroy a lot of people as a priest. It is true that you have to leave. And he left. Today, is a celebrated gentleman, happily married, and still loves the church, still supports the church financially. And I speak to you, I have benefited from him financially. He never hates the church. He still loves the church. He realized that the priesthood was not his calling. Like the young rich man who left the presence of Jesus sad. He didn't leave the seminary sad. He left the seminary to find where God has promised him that he will find joy. Something was lacking in his life when he was in the seminary. And he found that thing maybe in marriage, he found that thing maybe in family, he found that thing maybe in the society. And today he's a happy married man. Moving, physical movement out of the seminary into the world became his land of promise. Spiritual movement, reflecting, am I living the life of a priesthood? And the society is also part of the problem. Today, if somebody from Maloney goes to the seminary, after 3 years, he leaves the seminary, all of you have story to tell. Without knowing what has happened, you start lying. He has impregnated a woman. There is a child that here, the child looks like him. He has stolen money. Where did he get the money to build the house for his mother? You start telling stories that you don't know. He's too proud. That is why he was asked to go to the seminary. And so you force people to remain there. You force people to remain in the convent. And they suffer and they destroy their life. And that is why we have priests today who are bringing pain to people instead of bringing joy to people. We have priests who have reduced themselves to businessmen. They have forgotten their vocation. We have priests who have lost focus in life, bringing pain to their mothers, to their fathers, to their family. Because they don't want to move to the land of promise. If your child is in the seminary and the child says, I want to leave, ask the person why. If the person gives you a good answer, support them to leave. Don't force them to be there. The priesthood is an honor that no one takes upon himself unless he's called by God. It's a dangerous vocation. It's not easy. If you are not strong, you cannot be a priest for 1 day. You cannot be a priest for 24 hours. And so, don't even go there. Don't even go there. Because people will talk about you. People will lie about you. People will challenge you. People will crucify you. And they'll come tomorrow and beg you for food. And you must give them. You must give them. Because you are called to be stupid. To be a priest is to be stupid. And I said it one Holy Thursday. You cannot keep grudge as a priest. Then you are not okay. Number 3, the third story. And this is not too long ago. A man impregnated a woman that is not his wife. He had a wife at home. He had a premarital affair and impregnated a woman, extramarital affair, and impregnated a woman outside. And the wife was not happy. And I was called to be in the picture of what was happening. Initially, he was playing a tough man. He was playing a tough man. I'm a man also. I can do what I want. Playing a tough man. No, you don't do what you want. You are married to somebody. You don't have the right to do what you want. You don't have the right. You don't play tough at that point. You must be sorry and ashamed of yourself. I challenged him. It was not easy at the beginning. I was almost persecuted also. That's why I told you it's not easy to be a priest. But eventually, God worked in a way that is miraculous. Initially, he was going back to the idiot to fight his wife, going to tell the idiot what his wife is saying and what Father Naji is saying to him. Instead of discarding the idiot became his friend. But eventually, when the thing in his eye went away, I was surprised one day the wife called me and told me that this man has come back to say, please help me, let's fight this girl. Let us work together and fight this girl. I'm telling you, this is a true story. You say what? My husband called me to say, let us unite to fight this girl. I said, God is alive. Movement. He has moved to realize that I am playing with my life. I am playing with my destiny. I am playing with somebody. He moved out of reflection, both mental and spiritual, to come back home to his wife, to say sorry to his wife, and to fight his enemy with his friend. That wife you are fighting is your friend. He has moved to the land of destiny. Now, the wife is happy, the man is happy, the children are happy, because they have realized they have come to the land of promise, where there is peace, where there is unity, where there is progress. How can you be discussing your wife with your girlfriend? How can you be laughing at your wife with your girlfriend? How can you be insulting your wife with your girlfriend? The reverse should be the case. Are you supposed to have a girlfriend? You are not ashamed. Abomination, taboo. I must move to my land of promise. Today, in the first reading from the book of Genesis, the Lord fulfilled the promise which he promised to Abraham. If you read Genesis chapter 12, God told Abraham to move to the land of promise, the land that I will show you. Genesis chapter 12, go and read. That was when God told Abraham, I will not bless you here, you must move. And today we read what? Genesis chapter 15. That is where he gave him what he promised. I will give you inhabitants, your prosperity shall be as many as the sand by the seashore, and as many as the stars. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. And your posterity shall endure forever. It was promised in Genesis chapter 12, but he was told to move physically. And Genesis chapter 15, the promises were fulfilled. Some of you have to move physically to the land of promise. Somebody may leave Lusaka to come and live in Maloni, to come and live in Manjeleje, to come and live in Sakubita, to come and live in Kabila and become rich. That is the land of promise. Some of you have to leave this place physically to get what you want to get. But before you leave, you must pray. Before you leave, you must think. Before you leave, you must plan. Because your destiny may not be here. You may be surrounded with negativity. You may be surrounded with people who do not think. I say, I thank God for the people I met in the course of my growing. Some of you are very unfortunate. You meet negative people in your life. People who teach you how to hate. People who teach you how to cheat. People who teach you how to lie. People who teach you how to deceive. People who teach you how to keep grudge. People who teach you not to forgive. People who do not teach you the realities of life. What is happening in marriage today? They teach each other. A man will tell his friend, a male friend, you don't have a side chick. That is what we get today. Why do you stay with her? Get somebody. And that is why people are having children outside marriage as though they are drinking water. And you women, you have accepted that madness to be your life. Listen, and listen carefully. You cannot kill yourself in any marriage. You can quote me anywhere. You cannot kill yourself in any marriage. You have a life. You have a life to live. You must move to your land of destiny. Some of you don't sleep. Some of you have no peace. Some of you are just mental disorder in the name of marriage. You must move to your land of destiny, your land of promise, where you sleep in peace. You are not in this world to survive. You know what is survive? Complaining every day. No, I can't complain every day. I must live. A priest called me yesterday, 2 days ago, and was greeting me. He said, how are you, Father Dan? I said, I'm fine. I'm among the living. Then I said, how are you? He said, I am surviving. I said, Father, are you surviving or you are living? Father, I'm surviving. I said, you cannot survive. I told him, you cannot survive. Do you know the meaning of survive? Go and check your dictionary. To survive is to complain every day. Zazini zazi. To survive is to be enduring. I am managing life. To survive is always lamentation. Somebody cannot say, how are you? You say, fine. Some of you are like that. Some people, I cannot say, how are you? If they say, good morning, Father, I'll say, good morning, Father. I am afraid to say, how are you? Complain, complain, complain. That is not life. And I joke with Father and I say, Father, please, stop surviving. You will die. You will not get close to my age if you are surviving. Live your life. Live your life. And living is to live close to the heart of God. Living your life is to live optimally to the glory of God. Live your life is to be happy. Live your life is to share. Live your life is to forgive. Live your life is to say thank you. And use your gift well. Do you know what it means to be a Catholic priest? The doors are open too much for you, the doors of success. Anybody who is ordained a Catholic priest, who is mentally okay, who is well, physically and mentally, the doors of success are open. You just choose. And you tell me you are surviving. Say, Father, I'm sorry, I'll start living. Better live. You better live. And it applies to all of us. Please, you have to carry what do you call it? The English will say you have to hold the bull by the horn. You must take risk in life. And that is why from children, when I go to St. Mary's and I'm talking to them, ask your children in St. Mary's, I start telling them, take your life very seriously. You are in grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, you are in examination class. There's nothing like grade 9 examination class. There's nothing like grade 12. Every class is examination class. Take your life very seriously. And you must move to the land of promise. And that is what we saw today in the gospel again. In the gospel of today, shortly before this happened, especially in the Gospel of Matthew, that's chapter 16, Jesus was telling his apostles how he was going to suffer. And Peter rebuked him. Peter told him, no, this cannot happen to you. You are our Messiah. If you have called us to leave everything, and now you are telling us you are going to die, what will happen to us? They became afraid. They became hopeless. They became despair. They became despondent. Now, Jesus said, no, if I leave these people in this condition, they may desert me. They may go away. They may be lost forever. What does he do? He rose up to the occasion And now he said, let us move to the mountain. There was another movement. Today's gospel, they moved to the mountain. Do you know a mountain? It is difficult to climb a mountain. Some of you cannot climb a mountain. I bet you, some of you cannot climb a mountain. You'll be breathing. It is dangerous to climb a mountain. You may fall down. It is risky to climb a mountain. Jesus told them, let's go up to the mountain. And they followed him and went to the mountain, the land of promise. Before now, they were afraid. This man, he says he's a Messiah, and now he's going to die. No. Then he took them to the mountain. And when they went there, after enjoying the mountain, the land of promise, they didn't want to come out. They said, Lord, let us make 3 booths or 3 tents. One for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah. They don't want to go away. They have reached the land of promise. Where they were, the fear has gone. The discouragement has gone. They are now enjoying the place. But Jesus told them, we cannot be here forever. We shall go back to face the reality of life. So, my dear brothers and sisters, each of us have our land of promise. The land of promise is not material things only. The land of promise is not Mashele only. The land of promise is not houses only. The biggest land of promise is Kozo, peace. How many of you can boast that you are living in peace? How many of you, when you destroy other people, when you commit abortion, when you commit murder, when you do all kinds of gossip, you're not living in peace. Move away. Mental and spiritual escape to the land of promise. Some of you are capable. You have the talent, you have the gift, you have the intelligence, but physically you are not safe. I was telling them today in Linda, some of you will remain in Linda, remain poor, because you are surrounded by negativity. You are surrounded with negative people. People who always say, I cannot do it. But when you move to Zimba, you see maybe that is your land of destiny. Then, weekend, you drive your car from Zimba and come and give those people who say they cannot make it, you buy them chubuku and go back. Because that is what they know, only chubuku. They don't know promise, they don't know success in life. So, think about your life. You have something that God has planted in you. You must move. You must move from dangerous relationship. Any kind of relationship that does not want your promise, your progress, you discard yourself from it. Any state of life you are living and does not guarantee your promise, you leave it. You are married and your spouse does not want you to go to school. Your spouse does not want you to improve financially. Your spouse does not want you to improve mentally. You are in a dangerous relationship. You must move to your land of promise after every negotiation has failed. When things are going wrong in your relationship, talk about it. Tell people, tell your priests, tell your pastors, tell important people. Work hard, persevere in reconciliation. If it doesn't work, quit. Because you must leave. Because your land of promise is awaiting you. So, brothers and sisters, we must succeed in life. Don't be in a hurry. Take your time. So that when you are there, in your land of promise, you sing the responsorial song. Can you sing that responsorial song? No, responsorial song. for each of us for the grace and the courage to take ourselves to our land of promise. Remember, it can be physical, it can be mental, it can be spiritual. Some of you must be in Maloney to succeed, but you must change your mentality. Some of you must move out physically in order to make it. I pray that God will show you the way to change and move to your land of destiny through Christ our Lord.
Amen.